Become a climate advocate. What is the scope of the activity? The scope of this activity is to develop and increase the students' advocacy competencies in order to empower them for designing their own advocacy climate campaign through proper tools. It is addressed to students from 10 years old and older. It takes approximately 2 school hours for the first 2 steps and a couple of months and maybe more if you are going to follow up and preparing, organizing your own climate advocacy campaign. Again, in this activity, we apply brainstorming, group reflective discussions, as well as values analysis and interpretation. We need internet connection, Wi-Fi projector, some papers and pens. But before being a climate advocate, speaking up about climate crisis and getting others to join into action, first we need to understand their own values, what influences them in order to take part in a climate campaign. So research on tapping into the people's value systems and get them on board has shown that we can design our own messages, our own prompts, tools and campaigns in different pro-environmental versions, trying to understand the audience's attitudes, values and backgrounds. So when it comes about values, psychological and research evidence has shown that first we come with the sociocentric and altruistic values. Why protect the environment and advocate about climate? Because everyone will benefit. Protecting our planet means doing something good for everyone. This is in the first category, in the first axis of values, the so-called altruistic. What about the second one, the ecocentric values? This reflects the intrinsic value that the planet has because nature, because climate is very super important. So protecting the planet means preserving nature because of its intrinsic value, the biospheric values. The third category is about our egocentric values. Okay, I'm going into this climate action. I'm going to advocate about the environment, climate, because it is good for me as well. Whatever is good for the planet is me as well for my own well-being. And the fourth category of values is because Earth is where the fun is, because it is fun, because I'm having a lot of nice time, so on and so forth, the hedonic values. So in the first step, we invite students to reflect on their own values. What we do, we have prepared a set list of statements that really evoke a discussion. We explain them that there is no right or wrong in this activity. It is called Stand on the Line for Climate. So we present the statements and then we ask students to stand up and take a position, take a spot between two ends. Right and the left end, let's say, of a line. The one end represents I fully agree with what the sentence says, and the other I fully disagree. Again, we explain that there is no right or wrong spot and attitude. It is actually a values-based game where the players choose their spot on a line between two opposing statements, as we say, reflecting their own beliefs regardless of where their fellow learners stand. We have prepared some, as you saw in the previous slide, sentences. However, you're very welcome to prepare your own. Once they have placed themselves on the line, we invite them to openly express why they think so. We get at least 3 responses from both ends and from the middle. After listening to the others, having a small chat, we can invite them to change the spot if they would like so. In the second step, and after digging a little bit in our values regarding environment and climate, we are working on mottos and messages. So we begin a brainstorm session on what makes a motto, a slogan, really impactful. We leave them again in groups or small pairs. They need to discuss 3 key questions and write their answers on a small pieces of paper or post paper. So they need to reply on what will be their target audience for their motto, what is the goal of their message, and what influences their audience's decisions. You can get inspired by other learners and students' messages that they were addressed actually to decision makers that were their target audiences from the link we have included in this slide to get ideas and inspirations for your own messages about climate. This comes from an international campaign from the world legislations, and you can see some mottos from learners advocating to the ministries of education in order to promote further climate education in the schools. These messages come from various countries, including Europe. In step 3, we dig a little deeper in 3 well-known campaigns, online internet campaigns, advocacy campaigns on climate. The one is the Earth Day, the other one is the Act Now, both from the UN, and the third one is Future Thanks You. So we show them and navigate a little bit on their websites from internet, and then again the learners in groups study these questions and then reflect on them. So we ask them, we invite them which campaign they liked more, which campaign they will join in, and why, what are the reasons behind it. We discuss what are the key aim, the key scope of this campaign. Are they to raise awareness? Are they for changing behaviors? Are they for advocating to decision makers about climate? Another important element when it comes to campaigning is to identify whether they focus on hopes or fears, whether they focus on causes or effects, or problems or solutions. And then we invite the groups and students to freely express what do they think they make them so successful and have such a continuity. Some of them, some campaigns are running for decades now. So is it their visuals? Is it the social media activation? Is it their accessibility? Is it their relatedness and connectedness to their audiences, their inclusiveness, and so on and so forth. As a follow-up in this activity, we have prepared for you some key tips and steps for organizing, if you have the time and the willingness with your group, your own advocacy campaign on climate change. So these are the key steps that you can take up with your group, starting by identifying your cause, inviting the other parts of the school, other classes, other educators, and of course the headmaster in your effort, telling your families, sharing with friends what you're up to, setting up your climate campaign committee with specific roles, and also bringing other stakeholders that they can provide you with resources, material or human resources in your collective efforts. Also, it is important when you're organizing your campaign to be prepared and choose in advance whether you will go for an online campaign or a physical campaign or the combination of both. So what are going to be your tools and the means that you will employ. Is it going to be a video competition or photo campaign, mass mailing, an e-petition? And when it comes to physical campaigns, you can think of art. Art is a very effective way to spread the message, to spread the word to large and inclusive audiences. You can use artworks, you can use murals, live events, drama, music festivals. People just love them. A few additional tips, particularly under step 3, is if you go through an online campaign, you can propose and take some ideas from the ones that you have studied together with your groups, and also you can use some other examples that you would like to include in this particular activity. Of course, this activity, again, you can use it, you can integrate it in subjects and projects like geography, citizenship, social sciences, language, and environmental sciences. And at the end of the day, keep reminding your learners that every single action matters when it comes to climate action. Whether we say no to a single-use plastic, whether we buy less stuff for some period, whether we refuse over-packaging, whether we talk to others, every single action has an impact. So another idea for your follow-up, if you don't go for a full climate campaign, is to pick up a favorable action, commit to repeating it for a given period, and note down their progress over the next month. Some more ideas for self-reflection and feedback. Invite your group to choose a number from 1 for the minimum or 4 for maximum in order to express how confident they feel now at the end of the activity for preparing their own message for the climate or preparing their own campaign advocating on climate, how ready they feel themselves to start such a collective effort. That's all from us. Thank you.